Abby, can you hear us? Hi, Tanya.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Hold on. Let me turn up our volume here.
Perfect.
I think we're already live streaming, so.
See Carol in the background.
Of course, it's. How you feel? Good. How's your summer going? Okay, Tanya, can you say something again?
Yes, can you hear me now?
That's much better. Okay. I think we're just waiting for Abby. She was on there, but it said she was unverified. So I think we just have to wait for her and then we can start. I think we're already sharing from what I understand. Yeah, it says it's live.
Yeah, it looks
So-
like it's live, so.
So it is online. And then once Abby gets on, then we can start the meeting.
Perfect.
Right. So.
And I apologize that I'm not there in person.
No, we understand. Are you still in Hawaii?
Yeah. So I'm in Maui. I was like, I don't know if I can really show. There's not really much to see because it's clouded and socked in right now.
She's working there though. That's like.
I am working. Yeah. I'm at a client's right now.
So crazy.
And we had some fun with tsunami warnings last week while we were here. So, and
Yeah,
there were
that's what
2
we were just talking.
hurricanes headed our direction as well, apparently. But there's Abby.
Made it. Are you here? Can you hear us and everything? Great. We can barely hear you though. It's really low. Now we can't hear you at all.
How about now?
Now you're
Yes.
great. Fantastic.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna start I think we got it. I think we got it. It says it's live. I think we're good. I'm gonna start recording. I'm starting the recording and it should be live streaming, but Caitlin is going to check really quickly before we get going just to make sure it is
Perfect.
live.
And I'll just mute myself in case anyone comes stumbling into the room and.
It's further down. It's on like that. It's on the staying down.
Can you see me or is my video frozen?
And then, oh, you didn't put the stream key up there? Like your video. I put it on the thing. Click the agenda.
I just stopped seeing Lauren. I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Yeah. Okay. It looks like it's on. Yeah. I think that's right. Yeah. Sure.
Or actually, no, I can see the whole room. That's what I'm supposed to see.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened with my camera. I'm trying to get it back up.
We can hear this, Phil. Yeah, we can still hear you. So I think that's great. Okay, I'll call the meeting to order. It is 4:33 on August 4th, 2025. This is the audit committee meeting, and we have Counselor Bright here and our citizen member Abby Farber here. In addition, we have Tanya Moffett on the line, our auditor from audit partner from Marina and Company, and then myself, Lauren Breithaupt,
Caitlin Coe, finance manager. Stephanie Hastings, analyst. Misty has senior accountant.
And so we're just going to kick it off pretty quickly here. We have kind of a tight schedule because I know there's some other meetings at 5, so we're just going to try to go through this. But I just wanted to start it off with Tanya giving a little introduction to the audit, giving time for anyone to ask questions. I will say again, this is a live recording and it's public, so in the past, we used to step out of the room, the management, while the audit committee could ask the auditor questions. Now, because obviously it's going to be posted and I'd be able to see all that tomorrow, we just recommend that if there are any questions, concerns, or anything, that you get in contact with Tanya privately or someone else from her company. And of course, always welcome to reach out to her. So I'll let you take it away, Tanya, if you can, and just talk a little bit about the audit this year.
Okay, perfect. And I don't know, but for some reason my camera is not working right now, so I apologize for that. So I'm Tanya Moffett, and we are the external auditors. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. We are the external auditors. And so we have interim scheduled for the September 8th through the 11th. And then we have field work scheduled from October 20th through the 30th is when we are going to be performing the on-site field work. For this year, there's really only one new significant accounting pronouncement, which is GASB, or Government Accounting Standards Board. 101, which is compensated absences. And the big thing with that one is sick pay is now going to be included in that amount. And so it's a new pronouncement. For the most part, everything else will be the same. There's also a GASB 102, which is certain risk disclosures, but for that one, I don't know that there will be anything that where we could see that come into effect with government entities is if like a lot of that federal funding goes away. The thing is the city doesn't get a ton of that. So I don't know that it's as significant of a risk potentially for the city of Westland. But there could be some additional disclosures for that one as well. Coming up in the next couple of years is there is GASB 103, which is a financial reporting model. And so we thought that was going to be significant changes for anybody that's been around for a long time. GASB 34 was like so significant, changed everything. Carol remembers it. I know that. She's shaking her head because I remember too. We thought it was going to be big like that, and it actually a lot of stuff got taken out of that, so it's not as significant of an impact. But there will be some impact there for next year's financial statements. And then there's GASB 104, which is certain disclosures of capital assets. And that's really more presentation based of how we have all of these right to use now, which are like leases, SABITAs, which is subscription-based information technology assets. And so it's just like a way to put them together in the financial statement. That one's pretty easy to implement. So that's always an option for implementing that early, but it's really just more so a disclosure change. So besides those things, it will be the financial statements for June 30, 2025 should be comparable to June 30, 2024, with the exception of really that compensated absence piece now that sick pay is going to be included in there. Yeah. So
Thank you. That was sick pay.
Yes.
Said okay.
So
thank you.
In the past, we have not included it because it's not payable when an individual retires or leaves employment with the city. And so it used to not be accrued as a liability, but we do know from historical like averages and things like that, that sick pay will be paid out for the most part for some, not necessarily all of it, but that a portion of it will be paid out over the course of the next year or several years. It's just not paid out when somebody retires. And so the GASB felt that without including that, it was misleading on the financial statements that that liability existed. So again, that's 101 compensated absences. The main change is the sick pay. There's also a little bit of a change. We used to have to report in the financial statements additions and subtractions. That now can be netted together. And then you just have to put like an asterisk that it's netted together, because it's really difficult to know how much is additions and subtractions. People would usually estimate what that amount was. They knew what the change was, just not what were the additions and subtractions. So
Got it.
we're excited to work with the city again for one more year to finish this audit up. So I know that Lauren, the city will be looking for new auditors for next year because our contract is up, and we have opted to do more consulting and not do financial statements audits anymore.
And we've loved working with Marina, and hopefully can continue a relationship in some way, form, shape or form, or so we're sad that you guys are moving over to consulting, but we understand. We won't take it personally.
We have 3 left this year. So we have Westland, Lake Oswego, and McMinnville. So
This is your last year, right?
this
for
is our
everyone?
last year for everybody.
Okay.
Just a quick question, if you happen to know, Tanya, is that sick, the compensation, the showing unused sick time, is that applying across to nonprofits as well? By any chance?
No, because this is unless the nonprofit follows government accounting standards, no, it does not. Because most
Got it.
nonprofits follow FASB, which is the
FASB.
Financial Accounting Standards Board, and
Mhm.
so theirs is a little bit different.
Got
So
it.
this is specifically government.
Got it.
Does anyone have any questions or concerns that they want to talk to Tanya about?
No.
Great. Well, thank you, Tanya. We're looking forward to working with you this year, and you're welcome to stay on or hop off, but we appreciate you coming and remoting in from Hawaii.
Perfect.
My goodness. Thank you, Tanya.
Yeah, well, I'm working over here, so it's not like I'm on vacation or anything. I do get to play. We went to the Dole Plantation on Saturday, so with some of my teammates. But
Cool.
yes, well, thank you, everybody. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. If you don't have my contact information, you can get it from Lauren. So thanks. I'm gonna hop off just to get back to my other client. So
Thank you, Tanya. Appreciate it.
okay, bye.
So as Tanya mentioned, this is our last year of them auditing us. And so we did go out for an RFP, and I'm going to let Stephanie lead the conversation around that. That is the next step of what our conversation is tonight and the process for the audit RFP evaluation. So I'll just turn it over to Stephanie and we'll go from there.
Awesome, thank you. Nice to meet you, Abby. I think this is
Stephanie.
the first time I'm getting to meet you, so.
Likewise.
Yes.
And hello, Carol.
Hello. So we put out an RFP for audit services, which closed last week on July 29th. We got 8 proposals, which is a lot, which is fantastic. That means we should have a good depth in field and be able to make some good choices.
And historically, we've received 2 for the last 2 RFPs.
Wow. So how, I didn't hear clearly, how many responses?
We received 8. And on the
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot for any proposal. My goodness.
A lot.
So our next step in this process is to put together an evaluation team and to evaluate proposals, whittle it down to a top 3, and then do interviews and make a recommendation to the audit committee. So something that is kind of special about the evaluation process for this RFP is that because it involves the audit committee, which is a public, which has to abide by public meeting laws, and also because it is a request for proposals where the contents of the proposals are confidential until an award is made, we have this this little bit of conflict. So the way that we're proposing to address that is to have a member of the audit committee, to just take one member of the audit committee and put them on the evaluation team. That way we don't have a quorum of the audit committee because our audit committee, our voting members are so small. There's just 3 of y'all. And then that person would join Lauren and another member of the finance team,
Most likely Misty.
in reviewing the 8 proposals, and then coming to a consensus on our top 3. That should satisfy all the confidentiality requirements as well as all the public meeting requirements. Our timeline for this would be to use the month of August to review them. There's 8. And I know this is your council recess, so you probably had other plans. But whoever's available to review the 8, and then convene the first week of September and get together to compare evaluations, come to a consensus on the rating for each proposal, identify our top 3, and then invite the top 3 to do interviews in mid-September. The goal is to make a recommendation to the audit committee by the end of September, so we can get that agenda bill in for the council meeting on October 13th. So the evaluation team would make a recommendation to the audit committee. The audit committee would then make a recommendation to council, and then council would approve the contract for the new auditors. And this will be for
Fiscal year 26, starting fiscal year 26, the current year that we're in.
yes, fiscal year 26. And I think we're looking at a 2-year contract with 3 options to renew. So up to 5 years. And I think that is what we've typically done for our last 2 RFPs.
We did 5 years with 2 1-year extensions.
Oh, you know what? That's right. Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
confusing another RFP that we have.
That's
done.
okay.
It would be 5 years with 2 options to extend. That's right.
You don't want to
Rotate that.
Yes, yes, yes. Yep, sorry, we have, it's been a long day and we've got a couple of these going on right now. So yeah, that's kind of where that would be. So this would put us through fiscal year 30. And if we're really satisfied with our auditors and they're meeting all their performances requirements, then we can choose to extend up to 2 more years.
And I
Is that
noticed-
under,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
is the, you know, how many, that was a question I had before too. Is there a law that states how many times you can extend with a particular auditor?
No, there's not laws necessarily, but there are best practices. Generally, you know, you want to rotate auditors every once in a while, just getting new, fresh eyes on it. But again, as Carol mentioned, and as you know, I'm sure Abby, is that it is a lot of work to change over auditors. So ideally not doing it necessarily like even every 5 years would be nice, but more along 7 or 10, you know, so like maybe going through 2 cycles of 5 years is nice. But just also depends on where you're at after that. And if you're working well with the current audit firm, or if you're interested in going out for a different audit firm. So there's really not like a standard per se, but there is like a best practice of that you rotate every so often.
In my experience, we actually had, when I was working, had a contract for 5 years. We extended it for 2 years. We went out for an RFP. We selected the same auditor again, just because they met all the criteria, and we have different other people that they were competing against. So you're welcome to do that, but going out and doing the RFP so you can see what else is out there is really important periodically.
Absolutely.
So we will do another RFP, I mean, within 7 years, so 5 to 7 years after we select. And if we do decide to extend, that would be an audit committee recommendation to the council too. So we would, at 5 years, if management here said, you know, we really like this audit firm, we'd like to extend an extra year or an extra 2 years, we would come to the audit committee, explain that and why we like them or whatnot. And then it would be up to the audit committee to say, yes, let's extend that, or no, I'd like to go out for an RFP and
Right. But it's still the city council that has the vote on it, does it not? For for an extension, for, you know, renewal, that kind of thing. It ultimately rests with the city council. Is that correct?
Ultimately rests with the city council. That is correct.
Got it. Got it.
So
Got it.
It's the role of the audit committee is to make a recommendation to the council, but it's kind of similar to like community grants. That's the budget committee makes a recommendation to the council, but council can change it, choose something different if they like.
Of course.
So with that being said, I know Mr. Councilor Groner joined us a little bit into the meeting. Welcome. We're discussing the audit RFP. We received eight bids for that, which is quite a bit. And we've determined, because of how the audit committee works and the fact that it is a public, it has public meeting requirements. We think that the evaluation committee, and we've discussed this with our attorney and gone through the process, that our evaluation process should be one member from the audit committee and two members from city staff. And then we'll go through the evaluation process, and then we'll take that evaluation to the audit committee as a whole to make a recommendation to the city council. So at this point, I don't know if anyone is interested in being the one to do the evaluations.
I would be happy to. I am going to be gone for a week. I'm leaving tomorrow for Alaska. And then at some other point in August, I'm going to go out to the coast for just a few days. So,
Okay.
But other than that, I'm pretty available.
That's fantastic.
Leo, you're muted. Councilor Groner, you're muted.
And of course, depending on the dates, I would be available as well. What are the criteria that you're using for selecting an auditor?
So the criteria are listed in the RFP document. They're quite extensive. We have created evaluation tools to kind of help make sure that all the ratings of the evaluators are based on the contents of the proposals and nothing else. Would you like me to go through the criteria in the RFP one by one?
No,
I
just
can also
point me to the
send you the
document. That's
RFP.
fine.
Yeah. I was going to ask the same thing. Oop.
Just point me to the document. That's all.
We I can send that out after this meeing if that works for you.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Great. I wouldn't mind getting a copy too. I'm going to say for both counselors that I'm actually not available at the end of August. Although I retired as a consultant, an old client came along, and one that was supposed to take something over and said, "Oh, we don't have enough people to do this." So I am learning not to overextend myself. However, if an opinion is wanted or something, the meetings I can attend, but I just can't do 8 evaluations at this point.
Well, I appreciate Carol stepping up, and if that's okay with you, Councilor Groner, that works for us. I know
I've done
Carol
this
has
before.
had a lot of experience choosing auditors, so she is a good person to have, I believe, but welcome anyone to say they would like to do it instead or something.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So we will, so it sounds like from now, Misty, Carol and I will get together with Stephanie. We'll plan a meeting to kind of go over the evaluation criteria. In the meantime, I will send out the RFP to you so that you have that. And then from there, we will review and we will make our recommendations, hopefully the first week of September, to the audit committee for you.
The first week of September, we will be narrowing it down to 2.
Okay.
Audit committee recommendations will come mid to late September.
Okay, mid to late September, we will be back for another audit committee meeting to make a decision on what to recommend to the council.
Great. And I'm available for that. It was just, taking on the load of looking at them. Lauren, will you be able to share just a blank evaluation form with us, just so we can see that too?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And hopefully I'm not, it's interesting. I just went through this with a bunch, at least 3 other nonprofits of doing this. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, happy to share. I just, and also.
I won't be taking
and also
anything
to get
from it.
feedback
I'm
on it,
really-
because I think they're it's a kind of a fresh tool that we'll be using, and I'm hoping that it's a helpful tool. So, definitely
Great.
seeking feedback on it to make sure that it, is
Great,
as helpful as possible.
great.
I think
Do
what-
we happen to ask them for any guarantee of the increase in the fee over the years?
Yeah, so we asked for the 5-year fees and what they are in the audit RFP. And so they are supposed to include all 5 years and what they expect for the fee, what they expect for one major program of a single audit if we have one, and any extra fees.
Great.
One of the things, I don't know in the extra fees if they outlined exactly how much they thought for like travel costs, like if there's someone who's out of state, but we can work on that during the evaluation process too. But one of the interesting things about an audit RFP is that it's not solely based on price. Not that all of them
God,
are,
yes.
but this is much more based on like technical knowledge and experience and qualifications. So making sure that they do have a good municipal background and things like that. So
Absolutely. I mean, the ones I've
it's
run,
one component of it, but it's not a substantial portion.
no, you don't always get the best auditor by going, the lowest, it's supposed to be the lowest qualified bid, is it not?
Right? So,
Yeah, and the RFP did have an attachment that all proposals were supposed to include. That was a fee schedule that went out for 5 years. It was supposed to include all the their hour estimations, as well as what their costs were for the financial statements, single audit, supplies and materials, and any additional fees if applicable. So
Right.
hopefully they captured travel, but if they did not, there will be opportunities for me to reach out to proposers and request that information if needed. And I think if we end up getting through the first round, and if there is a firm that's identified as a top 3 that would require travel, that might be the appropriate time to reach out for that.
Right, right. Generally, this is just a general informational question. Now, in these days of such automation with accounting systems, even invoices, being posted online, all kinds of things, is the travel as much as perhaps it used to be? I could imagine things being done 100% remotely.
So that was part of one of the questions that we got from one of the auditors was, do you expect to have a remote audit, an in-person audit, or a hybrid? I put that we would prefer a hybrid or in-person. We are still doing a lot of things paper. We have transitioned over the last few years to a lot of processes that are now paperless. But really, like over the last year, a lot of those processes have just come about. And so we're still working through it. And so, for example, our accounts payable is still not 100% paperless. So we still have invoices in person. So having them being completely remote would be a lot of time and effort for us to scan invoices.
Oh, God, forget it. Forget about it, as we say.
So we would prefer that they're out at least a couple days to be able to do that testing. But other than that, they are okay to be remote. And Marina has done a lot of remote work over the last couple of years.
Well,
It's been out for a couple
It started
of years.
with COVID.
Yeah.
With COVID, when people were not working in the office, we had to figure out ways, and I think the audit firms came up with like portals where you dump all
Yeah,
this
you could upload stuff. It still gets, if your stuff isn't already automated, it gets difficult. There are commercial size, what I mean by small, smaller products out there, Bill and Concur, 2 of them where it's all automated, and that works really well. At the same time, if you sometimes the wheels have to grind a little more slowly with larger, highly regulated organizations like the city.
Well, thank you all very much. If there's any other questions, please let us know. But otherwise, we are able to adjourn, I believe. Anything else that anyone has?
No, thank you. Very
Thank you
informative.
for all showing up and helping out with this process. We appreciate it. And thanks to Carol for stepping up and doing a lot of review on this. She's gonna have a lot of fun with us.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of
Thank
the
you.
week.
I'm moving tomorrow and I'll be back next Monday. So just.
Perfect. And then that will kind of get. Actually works well.
Stop live.
Take a couple days to send out these materials. That would be, if I could do them Wednesday, then they'll be waiting in your inbox for you.